welcome to another edition of the HTFL, the Hometown Football League. I'm Big Paulie coming to you. Today we have the Washington Redskins traveling down south to Tampa, Florida to be more precise. Raymond James Stadium to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers wearing their old Bucco Bruce uniforms. Tampa Bay has started 0-3 and Washington 3-0, so this game, Washington's a heavy favorite, but you never know with the Buccaneers. They could surprise. It's going to be a warm day, a warm October afternoon in Tampa, Florida. Raymond James Stadium, as I mentioned, a little bit of a breeze, 0 to 10 miles an hour. I will be playing as Tampa Bay for the first time this season as the home team. Tampa Bay won the toss, and we will defer to the second half. Kirk Cousins is going to be the quarterback for Washington in favor of Sonny Jurgensen, who got hurt in an earlier game. Jameis Winston, who's now with the New Orleans Saints, will be quarterbacking for Tampa Bay. Joe Gibbs on the sideline for the Redskins, who we will continue to refer to as the Redskins, even though it looks like they will be called another nickname, perhaps as early as this season, but more likely next. The Washington Warriors is being thrown around as a possible replacement. But since we started this season with them being the Washington Redskins, we will end this season with them being the Washington Redskins. John McKay on the sidelines for Tampa Bay, the original Buccaneer coach. Tampa Bay in the orange squares, Washington in the white squares with the burgundy letters and numbering. James back deep for the Redskins, and we'll get this one started. And James with a return of 23 yards to the 28 before Hugh Green gets to him. And we'll set up the offense and defense here for Washington and Tampa Bay, respectively. Davis and Seymour are going to be your running backs. Monk and Clark, your wideouts. Cooley at tight end. Kirk Cousins at quarterback, who filled in for Sonny Jurgensen last week and led them to victory in overtime. Jacoby, Grimm, House, Slavinsky, and Samuels will be your offensive line. The defense for Tampa is not too bad, although they will have a hole on one defensive end side with Claiborne. Selman and Claiborne will be your defensive ends. McCoy and Logan, David Logan, your defensive tackles. Brooks, Nickerson, Davis, a good core of linebackers. Rondé Barber and Aqib Talib will be your corners. Lynch and Mark Barron will be your safeties. It's a 1st and 10 for Washington. And when we get to the other side of the ball, I'll have a little story for you. But first, this first down play. It's a give to Davis. Davis does not pick up much. In fact, he loses one. Leroy Selman on the tackle at the 27. 2nd down and 11. Cousins, and that is to Seymour, and Seymour picks up 3. And Charlie Taylor will come in as the 3rd wideout, replacing Seymour. And here's your 3rd and 5 play. Can the Bucs get a stop early? They can. Lynch jumped the route and knocked down a pass. Incomplete, couldn't see who it was intended for. And the Buccaneers will get a crack at it right away, holding Washington off the board. Here's the punt. And that's Eddie LeBaron back deep, punting it for Washington. And Tampa Bay will return it. Although we'll be around the 15. It was Humphreys who returns it 5 yards to the 20. So Dunn and Allstott will be your running backs for Tampa Bay as we set their offensive lineup. Evans and Carrier at wideout. Jimmy Giles at tight end. Winston at quarterback. Gruber, Middleton, Mayberry, Farrell, Penn, your offensive line. For Washington, it's Mann and Manley at defensive end. Sounds like a law firm, doesn't it? Butts and Talbert at defensive tackle. Hamburger, Slavinsky, who also plays offense, as you saw already, and LeVar Arrington are your linebackers. Williams and Darrell Green will be your corners. Houston and Taylor will be your safeties. It's 1st and 10, and we're going to go to Warwick Dunn, trap right. Just a simple play to get the game started. And Dunn picks up 9 yards. And making the tackle there was Williams. Came up from the defensive backfield and lowered the boom on. So it's 2nd and 1. And we're going to go for a long pass to Mike Evans. But a fumble and a sack by Talbert. And Tampa Bay loses 5 yards. They needed 1, and they go in the other direction 5 to set up a 3rd and 6. They'll bring 3 wideouts into the game, and Kevin House will make his first appearance. Medium out will go to him right away here. Winston scrambles, does not get the first, only picks up 2. And Slavinsky makes the stop for the Redskins. And here's the punt by Josh Bidwell. And that's off to the right, taken by Signs, who returns at 10 yards. 1st and 10, ball at the 47. I once went to a Bucs Redskins preseason game. In fact, it was 40 years ago next month. And it was a very odd game. The Bucs beat the Redskins 11-6. Now, this was way before the NFL messed around with 2-point conversions. So how did Tampa Bay get to 11 points? Well, the Redskins had a 6-0 lead after the half. The Bucs got a safety, which at that point was the first safety they had ever gotten in a preseason or a regular season game. Then they got a touchdown, and then they got another safety. The Washington long snapper, was having problems getting the ball to the punter, and the punter had to bail out and run it out of the end zone for a safety twice. And I believe it's the only game today, preseason, if you count the preseason games, where the Bucs got 2 safeties in one game. So, a little oddity for you. I went to the game where the Bucs scored their first ever safety. 1st and 10, ball to 47. And that was for Chris Cooley, incomplete, tipped by Mark Barron out of Alabama. You see him there. And it's 2nd and 10. Cousins, this time he finds not Mark Cooley, but Chris Cooley for a gain of 12, and that's a first down in Tampa Bay territory at the 41. 1st and 10. Incomplete. Brooks providing good coverage. Cooley was the intended receiver, but it falls incomplete. A 2nd and 10 now. They give to Seymour, and Seymour with a 5-yard gain, and he will be pulled for a Charlie Taylor, Monk, Clark, and Taylor. We're going to profile Seymour a little bit and tell you a little more about him, because he looks like one of those H-backs that Washington was apt to use back in Joe Gibbs's day. But here's your 3rd and 5 play at a 36. And that's caught by Clark, who gains 11. Move it to the 25 of Tampa Bay for a 1st and 10. That's to Davis for no gain. Let's look at Seymour. Bob Seymour out of Oklahoma, running back, and also played a little defensive back, played on those early 40 teams. Probably knows Sammy Baugh awful well. 2nd and 10 at the 25. To Seymour straight ahead, off the left side for 4 yards, behind Big Joe Jacoby. One of the hogs on those 80s Redskins teams, and it's 3rd and 6 at the 21 now. Shotgun for Cousins. He throws. It's complete to Cooley.
Holding offense.
But it'll come back.
66, 10-yard penalty.
I think I jinxed Joe Jacoby because I mentioned him, and then he commits a holding penalty on the next play. 3rd and 16 from the 31. We have 7:14 left in the opening quarter. This throw is caught by Art Monk, but he only gains 5. He needed 16, and it's field goal time for Washington. They will try one from 43 yards out, and that's going to be off to the right. Sean Schwiesom, misses the field goal of 43 yards. Tampa Bay gets the ball back, 6:28 to go, and it's 0-0 still. Here's Allstott up the gut, the A-train. Gain of a yard, and it's 2nd down and 9 to go. We'll go to Mark Carrier, medium hitch. Oh, a sack. Hamburger. Tries to make hamburger out of Jameis Winston, even though he likes crab legs. And that's a 10-yard loss. 3rd and 19 now for Tampa Bay at the 24. We're going to go long hitch to Kevin House. favorite target of Doug Williams back in the early 80s. And Winston had to scramble again. They needed a whole bunch of yards that they only get one. 4th and 18, so Tampa Bay punts it back to Washington. Here's Bidwell. And Bidwell.
Illegal block. Receiving team, 10-yard penalty.
Oh, I didn't see the penalty there, Mr. Referee. I'm sorry I interrupted. On the 46 yards, and Henberger commits an illegal block. So move Washington back to their own 24 with 4:09 left in the opening quarter. No score still. On an 87-degree balmy day in Tampa Bay. Well, actually, Tampa Bay is like a body of water. And it also describes the Tampa Bay area, which includes St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Sarasota, Lakeland. 1st and 10, ball at the 24. And that was a throw and a catch to Clark for 13 yards to leave on the tackle. 1st and 10, ball at the 37. And Davis with running room all the way to the 46-yard line, I should say. Stephen Davis there, you see him out of Auburn. He picks up 17. And it's now a 1st and 10 from the Bucs 46. And Davis having a good time of it running the ball. Hardy Nickerson came up and said, "Hardy, Hardy, har, har," making the tackle for 7 yards, and it's 2nd and 3 at the 39. To Davis again, and why not stay with him? He's been having a lot of success running the ball. 14-yard gain this time. Levante David brings him down. 1st and 10 at the 25. Davis will throw, and that's perfectly called. Touchdown to Gary Clark. They brought the Tampa Bay defense up, expecting a run, and then Cousins throws it over the top to Clark. And a brilliant little move of football strategy there, folks. 6-0, about to be 7-0 if Swisham can hit this point after, and he does. And the Bucs will get it back. Isaac Hagen's back deep for Tampa Bay, but he will down it as the kickoff goes 6 yards into the end zone. Bucs used to play the first games of their regular season at night because it would be too warm. They played a game with San Diego at 1 o'clock, their home opener ever in 1976, and a lot of fans had to be looked after for heat exhaustion because Tampa Stadium was built with aluminum seating. And that aluminum seating, you didn't have back support back when I went to the Bucs games as a child. That didn't come until the 90s when you would actually have a little back support. And the aluminum seats were never good because if they had a 1 o'clock game at Tampa Stadium, you would just roast. Okay, enough of me. Off tackle right, Warrant Dunn on 1st and 10. And Dunn with running room. And a gain of 13 yards. Have some more Bucs Redskins stories for you. They used to play each other in the regular season an awful lot. We will go Allstott up the gut on 1st and 10, but a holding penalty, I betcha.
Offsides.
Nope.
Defense. Number 72.
Dexter Manley.
5-yard penalty.
Called for defensive offsides. And with 5 seconds left in the quarter, we're almost done here, folks, with this first quarter. A pitch to the right with Warwick Dunn. And Dunn with more running room. That's 7 yards for him. He will end the quarter with 3 carries and 29 yards. Speaking of which, this is the end of the first quarter. It's Washington 7, Tampa Bay nothing. Back with you to start the second quarter. It's still 7-0. Washington leading, looking to go 4-0 on the year to be the first team in the HTFL to do that. Off tackle left with Dunn on 1st and 10. He gains 2. Slavinsky comes up, knocks him down. You see him there. He plays guard and he plays linebacker. With Washington having such a deep talent pool because their team goes back to the 30s, one of the original NFL teams, although they played at Boston for a little bit. I wouldn't say they were original, but they came to be and played in Boston in the 30s and then moved to Washington around 1940 or so. Actually, late 30s, and they had Sammy Baugh as their quarterback, and Sammy was the first quarterback to get attention as a pro football quarterback. 2nd and 8, revolutionized the passing game in the NFL as we know it. Carrier, medium out. And that's a catch for 14 yards by Mark Carrier. And it's 1st and 10 Tampa at the 39 of Washington. So can Tampa Bay get into this game? We're going to go trap left, work done. Gain of 3. Houston came up and said to work done, you have a problem. Get it? Okay. Mike Allstott, and we're going to run Allstott on a trap right on 2nd and 7 at the 36. Blitz is showed, so we will screen it to Dunn. And that was not a good call. Loss of a yard. Arrington decked him. And you got a 3rd and 8 at the 37. We'll put Winston in the gun. Hope we don't blow up on him. Jimmy Giles, medium hitch. Incomplete. And the Bucs will have to do something with feet here on 4th and 8 at the 37. Husted's got a good leg, and with the win advantage, he will try a 54-yarder, which will give Washington good field position if he misses, but he's not missing this. It's good. And the Bucs now only trail 7-3 with 11:58 to go. And here's James back deep for the Redskins on the kickoff. He will take it out all the way out to the 31. A return of 34 yards. Mark Cotney made the tackle for Tampa Bay. 1st and 10, ball to 31. To Davis. Davis has had great success running the ball so far. He gained 6 yards there. He's now got 6 carries for 43 yards on the day. No catches out of the backfield yet. 2nd and 4, ball at the 37. And that's completed to Cooley for 20 yards.
Defense.
And that'll stick.
5-yard penalty.
David Logan called for encroachment. And move it up 20 yards to the Tampa Bay 43 for this 1st and 10 play. Give to Seymour. Seymour stuffed behind the line by Derek Brooks, who had such a great season in 2002, leading the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to their only Super Bowl appearance. 2nd and 11 at the 44. To Seymour. Seymour sees 2 before Levante David knocks him down. It's now 3rd and 9 at the 42. Cousins is in the shotgun. He throws. It's incomplete.
Illegal motion. Offense. Number 42. 5-yard penalty.
Taylor called for illegal motion. We will decline it. The Bucs will get it back on a punt. Here's Eddie LeBaron back deep. And it's kicked to the sidelines. Out of bounds at the 10. Was not returned. So Tampa Bay will start 1st and 10 at the 10. Tell a little story. 1985, Tampa Bay played Washington. Last game of the preseason, and that was Labor Day weekend of '85, and they played the game in incredible haste and in rainy conditions because Hurricane Elena was making an approach to the west coast of Florida, so they played the game as fast as humanly possible. And don't remember who won it. I believe the Redskins did, but the big story in the Tampa Bay area that night was Hurricane Elena, which danced around in the Gulf most of Labor Day weekend before turning around and hitting southern Mississippi. Work done off tackle right, 1st and 10. I'm out of stories, folks. That was my last one. A gain of 5. Taylor came up and lowered the boom, and Dunn now 6 carries, 39 yards. We'll go to Evans, medium fly on 2nd and 5. He's looking. He throws, completed to Jimmy Giles. A gain of 7 and a 1st down. We'll go Allstott off tackle right. And Allstott's, you call him the A-train for a reason, because defenders will miss tackles on him, and he gained 6 there on a play where he would average 2.4. He's got 2 carries for 7 yards. And we'll go back to a regular formation here and go Dunn on a screen. And Dunn was lethal on those screenplays at Florida State and with Tampa Bay before moving on to Atlanta. He gained 6 there, had a screen pass for a touchdown in a Florida State game once that broke Florida's back. Off tackle right work done. We'll use him up a little bit. 1 yard gain. 6:32 on the second quarter clock. And now you got a 2nd and 9. We'll go to Carrier on a slant. That's there, but short of the first. A gain of 6. Bass made the stop. Mike Bass, who scored the lone touchdown for Washington in Super Bowl VII on the old Gary Premian botch of a field goal. 3rd and 3, double tight end, but we're going to throw it, and we're going to throw it to Evans. That's incompleted. Winston on the day, not too bad, 5 out of 7 for 32 yards, but I think they would like him to throw to Baltimore. Here's Bidwell on the punt. And he punts it for 44. Signs returns it for 7. We have 5:05 left to the end of the first half. It's a 1st and 10 Redskins at their own 22. Here's Cousins to Davis. Davis with a lot of running room on that play, 16 yards worth. He's got 7 carries on 59 yards. The Redskins as a team, 12 carries for 75, so a good 6.3 average for them so far. 1st and 10, ball to 38. A throw, incomplete, but a marker
Pass
down.
interference, defense, number 47.
They got Lynch.
Automatic, first down.
Johnny Lynch, general manager of the San Francisco 49ers nowadays, was a commentator for Fox for a while. He gets called for pass interference, and that'll move Washington to the 50, 1st and 10. Looking for
Pass
Clark.
interference, defense, number 21, automatic, first down.
Pass interference spreading around the Buccaneers like a COVID disease. And it's now 1st and 10 at the 36 of Tampa Bay. This is Davis, and Davis picks up the first. Another 10 yards. Jacoby will be out, replaced by Williams for a little bit. 1st and 10, ball to 26 now. Davis again with running room, 2 yards. This time he's at 9 carries for 71 yards. Now, Redskins have run it 14 times and thrown it 10 times. The Bucs 11 times rushing, 7 times passing so far. 2nd and 8 with 3:50 left in the half. Here is Seymour, and Seymour did not see anymore. No gain. Hardy Nickerson made the tackle on him. 3rd and 8 at the 24. And a timeout was called by Washington, which will set up 3rd and 8 yet again at the 24. A throw, incomplete, looking for Cooley, but Mark Barron got in there and made sure the pass fell to the ground. So Schwiesom will come on and try one from 41 yards out. He missed one from around here a moment earlier in the half.
10-yard penalty.
A holding penalty against Jacoby, which will be declined, and Tampa Bay will take over at their own 31. They get the ball to start the second half as we deferred on the coin toss. So they're not in bad shape. They trail 7-3. We're going to go long fly to Evans and try to catch Washington napping. Oh, a sack. Charles Mann came up and introduces himself to Jameis. And we'll take it to the 2-minute warning and give Jameis a little time to recover. It's still 7-3, Washington. Now you got a 2nd and 17. We'll go 3 wide, and we'll run a short pass to Warwick Dunn. Incomplete. Winston threw it quickly, and Dunn was not ready. And now you got 3rd and 17. Man in motion for a long pass to Mark Carrier. Washington playing back. And that was a quick pass to Bryant. And only gained 4 yards. Washington Doesn't have to call timeout, neither does Tampa Bay have to fool the clock because he went out of bounds. So Washington will have time to work with this here if they choose to. Here's Bidwell back for the punt, and it's a nice one, and it goes as a 52-yarder. Smith makes the tackle after Signs returns it for 4 yards, and now you got first and 10 at the 24 for the Redskins. They lead 7-3. We got a minute 44 left and a half. A long throw, incomplete, marker down.
Pass interference, defense. Number 21, automatic, first down.
Aqib Talib could just not keep his hands off of Gary Clark. First and 10, ball at the 45 now, as Tampa Bay gives them new life with the penalty. Davis off tackle left. Selman comes up and lowers the boom. Tampa Bay will not call a timeout here. They'll force Washington to do so, and they do. They have one timeout left to the Buccaneers 3. Second and 10 at the 45. A throw and an incompletion. Looking for Cooley again. Lynch provided coverage. Now you got a third and 10 at the 45. Cousins throws out of the pocket to Cooley, and that's incomplete. Minute 24 left, and Tampa Bay will get the ball back, barring a calamity here on the punt. Here's LeBaron. Be fair caught, as Tampa Bay will not want to take any chances. And that's Humphreys making the fair catch at the 10. Got a minute 18 to go. Washington cannot stop the clock entirely here. We're going to dive it with Warwick Dunn. Just try to get out of the first half, only down 7-3. Houston makes the tackle. We'll slow it down. We'll bring in a second tight end, and we'll go to Allstott with a dive play. 1 yard gain. Washington calls their timeout, so Winston will just take a knee, and that'll be the half. And at halftime, your score, Washington 7, Tampa Bay 3. As I mentioned before, in the first half, Tampa Bay won the toss and deferred, so they will get the ball to start the second half. They've been held to 66 yards of offense so far, Washington with 173. Cousins 6 for 13, 86 yards and a touch. Winston 6 for 9 for 36 yards. Here's Hagan's back deep, and he will down it in a good kickoff for Washington into a little bit of a wind, 0 to 10 miles an hour. We'll go to Carrier, medium slant, first play. Winston's going to run, but he can't run far, and that's Butts, who tackles him for a yard. A yard gain, and we'll go Dunn on a pitch right, but a marker down.
False start, offense. Number 74, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
The veteran Paul Gruber called for a false start. And now you got second and 14 for the Bucs. Medium fly to Mike Evans. Winston under the gun, and he throws it. It's incomplete. Looking for Giles. They switched it to Jimmy Giles as the intended receiver, but he can't come up with it. Now you got third and 14. And not a good situation for Tampa Bay, as their offense has suffered a little bit all throughout the game. We're going to go to Kevin House. Incomplete. No, not an incompletion, but it may as well have been. Carrier catches in on a check down, only gains 3. They needed 14, so Bidwell back in the punt. Washington should get good field position. And they do. It'll be out to the 45 after a 45-yard punt returned 9 yards by Signs. So Washington, with their first possession of the second half, they lead 7-3, looking for more. Think they would be on the verge of busting this game open sooner or later. Here's your first down play. That's to Davis, and Davis with 7 more yards. He's at 11 carries for 78. Second and 3 at the 48 now. 2-yard gain. This was to Davis again. Clark out a few plays. They're going to bring Hugh Taylor in as a second tight end on this 3rd and 1 play. It's an end around, but a fumble recovered by the Bucs. Hardy Nickerson with the recovery, and Tampa Bay will take over at their own 46 on a 1st and 10. And this might be the time to try a long play. We're going to bomb it. Play action to Mark Carrier on 1st and 10. Need 54 yards. Instead, they get 6. Mike Evans makes the tackle, and Green on the stop. Now it's 2nd and 4. We'll go to Dunn, trap right. He's close to the first, but just short. So it's 3rd and inches at the 44. They'll bring in a third tight end, which will be Calvin McGee. And they'll go to Dunn. Actually, no. I'm going to go to Winston on a dive. See if he can just get the yards. It's a fumble. But Farrell, one of the linemen, Sean Farrell, a guard, came in, recovered the fumble. Tampa Bay does get their first down, and at the 43, we'll go back to Dunn, sweep to the left. Tampa Bay's got to make that Washington defense work a little bit. A gain of 6. Now to Allstott on a trap right. He gains a little bit, 2 yards. Cuts the distance in half, a 3rd and 2. And what will be the play call here? A hard count, inside run to Dunn. Nothing there. Loss of a yard, in fact. Arrington makes the tackle. And the Boo Birds are out at Raymond James. Husted's got a better than a 50-50 chance of making a field goal from here. It will be a 55-yard try. And he got it. Michael Husted with another long field goal. One of the few bright spots for the Bucs in this game. Now they just trail by a point. It's 7-6. But James back deep for the Redskins. He will return it from the 4 or thereabouts. To me, total was the 3. A fumble. But he got it back and returned it 36 yards. So now you got 1st and 10 at the 39 with 7:54 to go. A throw and a catch to Cooley, and he gained 17, and they are in Tampa Bay territory, they being the Redskins, who may soon be called the Washington Warriors. 1st and 10 at the 44. To Davis. Davis straight ahead, 4 yards. Nickerson on the stop. Davis now 13 carries, 84 yards. 2nd and 6 at the 40. To Charlie Taylor on an end around, and he gains 1 yard and 1 yard only. Now you got 3rd and 5 at the 39. A throw and a catch by Charlie Taylor. He gains 7 on that play. 1st and 10, ball at the 32. To Davis. Davis looking for more running room, and he finds 9 yards. Rondé Barber on the stop. Now it's 2nd and 1 at the 23. Davis, this time he does not get the first down. He loses a yard. Lynch makes the tackle. Now it's 3rd and 2 at the 24. Incomplete. Tampa Bay may have intercepted the pass, so we will challenge.
Ruling on the field is confirmed. Incomplete. A timeout will be charged.
In HTFL play, all scores and turnovers are looked at in the booth, but things like whether or not a catch was made, whether or not a first down was made, spots of the ball, that could all be looked at. Although wouldn't an interception be part of a turnover? Well, anyway, I'll let the game designers worry about that. 4th and 2 at the 24. Squeeze him in for a 41-yard try. He's missed 2, and he misses another one. He's been missing field goals all from about that distance, 40 yards or so. And that's his 3rd miss of the game, and that gives Tampa Bay hope trailing 7-6 late in the third quarter. Sweep left, work done. Looked like Washington had 8 in the box, and Dunn breaks loose, and he's got 21 yards. Houston made the tackle, and the Buccaneer fans have reason to cheer. They're in Washington territory. Off tackle right, work done. A gain of 2, Hamburger makes the tackle. They go to 3 wide on this 2nd and 8 play. We'll go to Jimmy Giles, medium hitch. A mainstay of those late 70s, early 80s teams, and he can't find a handle on that. And you got 3rd and 8. We'll go Evans, short slant. And that bounces off of somebody, and that looked like Kevin House. He lost it. A 4th and 6 from the 46. That's too far out to try a field goal. It would be a 63-yarder, and Houston does not have that kind of leg. We're going to sideline punt it with Bidwell. Try to get the Redskins in a hole, and that goes out of bounds at the 11. So Washington gets it back. They have 1:26 left in the third. They lead by a measly point, 7-6. Good defensive battle here in Tampa Bay, or Tampa. Monk hurt on the play where Seymour gains 5 yards, and his return is probable, so they'll bring Charlie Taylor in and use him more in the base formations. They would usually use him when they go to 3 wides. 2nd and 5. That's incomplete, looking for Cooley. Ricky Sanders comes in as the 3rd wideout now, as Charlie Taylor's being used as the number 2 wideout in absence of Art Monk. 3rd and 5, ball to 16, and a sack. Johnny Lynch came up with a safety blitz and gets to Cousins, and Washington will have to punt from their own 8-yard line, which will give Tampa Bay good field position. 4th and 13 from the 8. Here's Eddie LeBaron. And that's fair caught by Humphreys. Looked like we might have had a penalty there. We do not. We're going to go to Dunn on a dive. Heavy blitz is being shown, so we're going to go Allstott on a screen. And it's a good call. Allstott gains 18. That's how we will go to the end of the third quarter. Tampa Bay with a chance to pick up their first HTFL win. They trail by 1, 7-6. Back with you to start the fourth quarter. Shades of that 99-2000 season playoff game where the Bucs trailed most of the way and then came back to beat the Redskins and advance to the NFC Championship game that year where they lost 11-6 to the Rams. I was mentioning another 11-6 game earlier. 11s and 6s seem to follow the Bucs around. Here's a trap right to work. Dunn on 1st and 10. And Dunn with a nice run. 10 yards and a first down. Washington will challenge the spot of the ball.
Upon further review, the runner was stopped short of the first down. No timeout will be charged.
So it'll be a 2nd and inches situation as opposed to a first down. Tampa Bay bringing in 3 tight ends, looking like they're going to do an inside run, but they're going to go and play action pass instead to Evans out of the triple tight end set. And Evans is there, and he finds a touchdown. Mike Evans out of Texas A&M with the grab, and it's 12-7 Bucs. So we could be seeing a mammoth upset here early in the HTFL season. The Bucs will go for the 2 points. They will go to Allstott. Looking at Allstott. They're looking at Dunn, who has about the same odds. Off tackle right, Allstott. And he's got the 2. Shades of that game in the early aughts where the Bucs beat the Redskins 36-35. They've had a lot of memorable games, both preseason and regular season, and a lot of games you probably snoozed over because the Bucs and the Redskins would play each other every regular preseason, and occasionally they'd meet in the playoffs. But right now, Tampa Bay with a 14-7 lead. Surprise of surprises here. You got James back deep for the Redskins. And that's a return of 22 yards. He took it at the goal line. So Washington has a 1st and 10 from the 22. Washington seems to be missing Sonny Jurgensen, Kirk Cousins. 9 out of 18. Not a great day. 1st and 10. He said, 1st and 10. Looking for Cooley, not there. Incomplete. Aqib Talib jumped the route. And you got a 2nd and 10 at the 22. This time Cooley does find it. He's just short of the goal line. Abraham made the tackle. Donnie Abraham. Now it's 3rd and inches. Ball at the 32. You're the Buccaneers. How do you defend this? Long throw. It's caught. That by Charlie Taylor. He picks up 30 yards before Mark Barron could get to him. And Washington on the march suddenly. Ball to Tampa Bay 38 on a 1st and 10. We have 13:30 left in regulation time. To Davis. Davis, a lot closer to 100 yards. In fact, he's over 100 yards. 117 on the day after that 25-yard gain. And it was Barron who made the tackle. They're keeping him busy. 1st and 10 at the 13 with 12:35 to go. Davis stopped behind the line and get loss of a yard. Washington has called 25 running plays, 21 passing plays. The Bucs have called 23 and 16 respectively. 23 rushes, 16 passes. 2nd and 11 at the 14. Touchdown, that's to Charlie Taylor. And the Redskins quickly answer the Bucs. And they're now a point away from tying the game. Here's the point after by Schweissen, and he puts that through after missing 3 field goals earlier in play. And we have a dead even game at 14-all now. 11:15 to go in regulation. If we go to overtime, it's the old school sudden death system. Straight up sudden death. 15 minutes go by, nobody has scored. The game is a tie. Hagan's back deep for the Bucs. 9 yards deep in the end zone, and he downs it. Warwick Dunn, who has 14 carries and 84 yards on the day, will get his 15th carry here. And that's good for 4. It's a season high for him, 88 yards rushing. Should get to 100 before the game is over. We'll go all stot and double tight end set on a dive play. But the Bucs are seeing a blitz here by Washington. They're going to go to Dunn on a screen. And he's got it. And Warwick Dunn loves those screens. He gets 12 yards. Slavinsky brings him down. Three catches for 17 out of the backfield for Warwick Dunn. And we'll go to a base formation, and we'll go Mark Carrier on a medium fly. And something happened there. Washington's got the ball. Slavinsky picks up a Winston fumble. Oh, a bad time for Winston to go back to his normal self. And Hamburger sacked him, and Winston fumbles as he goes down. Slavinsky picked it up and ran it to the Tampa Bay 9. Ouch. First and goal for the Redskins from there. Dramatic development. No pickup. Derek Brooks came in and lowered the boom on him. 2nd and goal. To Davis. Davis to the 2. And he's got 123 yards rushing on the day. That's a season high for him. 3rd and goal from the 2. Bucs will be lucky to give up 3 here.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 20. Automatic. 1st down.
And that will be continued because Rondé Barber got called for pass interference. But that's only a penalty that goes to the 1, which was half the distance. Which wouldn't have been half the distance. Pass interference in the end zone would automatically go to the 1. So a 1st and goal from the 1. Now Tampa Bay has to get something good here defensively. And Davis back to the line, and that's all. 7:55 left 4th quarter. Still 14-14. 2nd and goal. Davis again stuffed.
Holding. Offense. Number 56, 10-yard penalty.
Tampa Bay will gladly take that holding penalty against House. And now it's second and goal from the 11 with 7:16 to go. Cousins throws, it's a touchdown. Just gave Chris Cooley a little bit more room, that 10-yard penalty. And the Redskins retake the lead at 20-14. Here's Sweesum to try the point after. It's good. 21-14 Washington. They have scored twice in 4 minutes and 12 seconds. Hagen's back deep. He will down it. And the Bucs will have to go the length of the field. They have 7:03 left. Play action, medium pass to Mark Carrier on first down. And instead it goes to Jimmy Giles, and he gains 51 yards before Ken Houston gets to him. And just like that, the Buccaneers are at the Washington 29. We'll go to Evans on a medium out. Instead, it's dumped off to Dunn, then picks up 6. Winston now 13 out of 19, 154 yards throwing. We'll go to Evans again, short slant. Number 13, but Green provided good coverage on Evans, and that's an incompletion. Third down and 4. Gonna think the Buccaneers would go for it here on 4th if they don't get it. Carrier, medium out. Incomplete. Bucs are in field goal range, but with 5:23 left, I think they will want to keep the drive alive. And quarterback will be put in a must-pass situation here. They need 4 yards, a short hitch to Mark Carrier. Yes, I want to call this play. And it's there, first down. It goes to Carrier, who has 4 catches on the day for 33 yards. We'll go to Kevin House on this next play, short slant. Incomplete. It's second and 10 from the 13. We'll go Allstott, trap to the right. And nothing doing there. No gain. House, medium fly. On third down. And a touchdown. Kevin House takes it to the house. Southern Illinois. And now Tampa Bay a point after away from a tie game. And they get it. Husted comes on. His extra point is good, and now we're dead even at 21 apiece with 3:47 to go. Back and forth we go. Here's James for Washington, and he will return it. Not too far, out to the 29.
Receiving team.
And a holding penalty is going to back Washington up 14 yards. They will start from the 14 on a 1st and 10. It's Cooley, and it's 8 yards. Step that at the 22. 2nd and 2 at the 22. To Davis, no gain. Davis now at 123 yards rushing on 21 carries. Got 3rd and 2 from the 22. This could be a big play for the Bucs. Cousins to Taylor, and he picks up 5. That'll keep Washington and their offense on the field with 2:34 to go. 1st and 10, but a marker.
False start. Offense, number 60. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Samuel's called. 5-yard penalty. 1st and 15 at the 22. They will go to Davis and just gets back to the line, and that's it. 2:04 left. They will go to the 2-minute warning. No, Washington will call timeout before the 2-minute warning. 2:04 left. 2nd and 16. 2nd and 15, I'm sorry. To Taylor, and he's got 9 yards. Charlie Taylor, and that's now says 1 catch for 30 yards. I think he has caught a few more than that. Be 2 for 39 for him, I would think. Actually, Taylor has 4 catches for 35 yards. Okay. 2-minute warning, 21 all. Now it's 3rd and 6. The throw caught, a first down for Taylor. Tampa Bay will not call timeout. 1st and 10 at the 37. Washington down to a timeout. 1 timeout left. That was a throw to Taylor that was incomplete. Tampa Bay with 2 timeouts left. We have 1:45 left in regulation for 2nd and 10 at the 37. That's incomplete. A screen to Taylor. Charlie Taylor could play running back and wideout. 3rd and 10. Tampa Bay looking to get the ball back here. And they will, barring a turnover on the punt. Medium slant to Cooley falls incomplete. A bad throw by Cousins, who's 17 for 30 on the day. So Tampa Bay will get it back. Here's the punt by Eddie LeBaron. Taking it about the 20, a fair catch. And with 1:19 left and Winston at quarterback, I think the Bucs will just run it and try to play for overtime here. Here's trap right for Dunn. A loss of 2. Second and 12. We'll go to Allstott on a dive. And he picks up 2 back. 28 seconds left. We're going to just go to overtime. In the regulation, it's Tampa Bay 21 and Washington 21. Washington won in overtime last week against Dallas. And Tampa Bay won the toss, so they will get the kick to start overtime. Here's Hagan's back deep. Bucs did not play an overtime game in the regular season up until 1979 in a game with the Baltimore Colts, where they trailed 17-0 at one point and came back and won at 29-26. Here's Dunn on 1st and 10. We go until somebody scores, and that could happen on the first possession or beyond. And if we go 15 minutes without a score, the game is a tie. Has Tampa Bay ever played in a tie? Yes, they did, against Green Bay in 1980. See, it helps to have lived in the Tampa Bay area all your life. Okay, medium fly to Mark Carrier. He's got it. Gain of 18. Mike Bass on the tackle for Washington. And it's 1st and 10 Tampa Bay at the 43. We're going to go right back to Dunn on an off-tackle play. Off-tackle left. 1-yard gain. Slavinsky comes up. Lowers the boom on him. We'll go Carrier. Medium out. Winston flushed out of the pocket. Throws incomplete. Now you got a 3rd and 9. We'll go medium, just a random medium play to Mike Evans. They'll key on Carrier. And that's incomplete, but a marker.
Pass interference.
Defense.
Number 28, automatic, 1st down.
They get Darrell Green for pass interference, and Green is not happy with that. And now they cross the 50 of Washington's with 12:42 left in the overtime period. Davis on a dive. Should be open running lanes. A gain of 2 before Mike Bass could tackle him. 2nd and 8, ball to 42. We'll go Carrier, medium slant. That's incomplete, but a marker.
Roughing the passer, defense. Number 65, 15-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
If Washington loses this game, it's because they've lost their poise on this possession. Dave Butts called for roughing the passer. It's 8 penalties for Washington for 81 yards. Tampa Bay has committed 5 for 53. Trap right work done in this 3-wide receiver set. See what happens here. Holding.
Number 72, 10-yard penalty.
10 called for the hold. It's 1st and 20 from the 37. Dunn's going to have to come out of the game in favor of James Wilder. Off tackle right with Wilder. A gain of 2 yards. 11:37 left in overtime. Short hitch to Jimmy Giles. And he's got it. That might be enough to get him in field goal range. A 3rd and 9 at the 25. We're going to go short pass to Wilder. He's got it. He could not get to the first down, but he's got 7. And Husted, who will be kicking into the wind, only about a 55% chance of winning it right here. Can he do it? Can the Bucks get their first win? No! No good. 36-yarder is wide right, and Washington takes over with 9:39 left in the overtime. If we go to distance, it's a tie. 21 all. Cousins brings his team out to the field, 1st and 10 at their own 26. Logan tackles them after a gain of 3, him being Kirk Cousins. And it's now 2nd and 7 at the 29. To Charlie Taylor, I believe. Yes, indeed. He picks up 20 out of the backfield. Taylor now has 6 catches for 61 yards. 1st and 10 at the 49. To Seymour, who doesn't see anymore. No gain there. Seymour has had 7 carries for 16 yards. It's now 2nd and 10 at the 49. We have 7:51 left in overtime. That's caught. 18 yards to Art Monk, who has come back into the game. He has 2 catches for 23 yards. Rondé Barber brought him down. 1st and 10 at the 33. Seymour, he makes a nice gain of 9 to the 24, and now Washington knocking on the door to win this game. 2nd and 1 at the 24. They give to Charlie Taylor, who loses a yard. 3 wides in the game for Washington on 3rd and 2. Ball to 25. Incomplete. Schweissen will come on. He has missed 3 field goals in the game, all from this distance, but he has the wind at his back for a 42-yard field goal. If good, it'll put Washington to be the first HTFL team to go 4-0. And that looks good, but it goes right. No good. Tampa Bay with new life. 4:54 left in overtime. Who's going to win this game? Medium fly to Kevin House on 1st and 10 from 32. Incomplete. Was intended for House, but Ken Houston provided good coverage. We'll go Wilder on a screen on 2nd and 10. Pick up a 3. Slavinsky on the stop. Looked like there was a flag on the play, but the refs say no, there wasn't. 3rd and 7. Short hitch to Mark Carrier. No, not there, as Manley was hurt in the game. Hurt on the play, but Talbert makes the sack, his 2nd of the day. Could we have our first tie in HTFL history? 4th and 13. Bidwell will go back to punt. And that goes 45 yards. Return 7 by Signs. 3:12 left in the overtime period, and we only play 1 in the regular season. 1st and 10, ball to 31. It's caught by Cooley, but a fumble. Recovered by Monk. Bad break there for the Buccaneers. 1st and 10 at the 47. To Taylor. Taylor stuffed behind the line for a 1-yard loss. Each team gets 2 timeouts in the overtime. Bucks will not call one of theirs. Washington's going to let the clock run. 2-minute warning. Lynch with his 10th tackle. Cooley gains 7 on the throw from Cousins. Cousins now 21 for 35 for 267. We have 1:53 left in the overtime. The 2-minute warning just called. Each team with still their 2 timeouts left. 3rd and 4. That's completed by Art Monk. Art Monk with a big gain. And that goes all the way to the 3. Puts Cousins over 300 passing yards on the day. They'll bring in Schweissen. A field goal try from 20 yards. He's 0 for 4 for the day. Surely he'll make this one, right? He does. Game's over. And Washington prevails. But it wasn't easy, as this nearly goes the distance. 24-21. See, it was a pretty good game. Tampa Bay gave them a tough battle. Winston threw a couple of touchdowns. Houston kicked a couple of field goals beyond 50 yards, but he missed a much easier field goal that would have given Tampa Bay the win in overtime. And then Suiza missed a field goal earlier in overtime. And this nearly became the first game in HTFL history to end in a tie, but it didn't. Washington winning 24-21. They outgained Tampa Bay 453 to 292. Tampa Bay got off to a very bad start in the first half. 5 runs of more than 10 yards for Washington to Tampa Bay's 3. 1 throw for over 25 yards for Tampa Bay. Washington had 3. Penalties. Washington really shot themselves in the foot and nearly cost them the game. 8 for 81. Rushing and passing were about even. First downs, Washington had 25, Tampa Bay had 16. So we'll look at our coming attractions for these next few days. And our next 3 games. Oh, what a running back battle we have coming up for you tomorrow. We have Buffalo traveling to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Then New England, who's gotten off to a slow start at 1-2, will travel to play Carolina, who is off to a 3-0 start, one of our 3-0 teams so far. The other 3-0 team is New York, which we'll see later. Then Philadelphia goes on the road to the Mercedes-Benz domed stadium to take on the Atlanta Falcons. Again, your final score in overtime, Washington 24 and Tampa Bay 21. This has been Big Paulie coming to you. We wish you well, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye for now, everybody.